Amanda Jahn is with us now, and she's reporting on a fascinating story about wheelchair basketball. Amanda?
Thanks, Bruce. Yes, the Cleveland Wheelchair Cavaliers started in 1992. To try out for the team, you have to have two things: lower limb disabilities and live in Northeast Ohio. After meeting them, I believe there's a few more requirements: a zest for life and the courage to absolutely go for it on the court. For almost 20 years, the Cleveland Wheelchair Cavaliers have been breaking down barriers, providing players and fans with great hoops and serious basketball.
The program is awesome. I mean, it gets disabled people out and active.
But just a big brotherhood, crack on everybody. We have fun. I've got to do things that in my wildest dreams, I never thought I would. I never thought I'd be coaching, playing, traveling.
Wheelchair basketball is a ultra competitive sport. The athletes who are on our team, they're out there competing. Standard NCAA college rules. However, they're in a sport wheelchair, so it's competitive basketball. There's a lot of banging, but there's a lot of finesse and strategy that takes place in every game.
Once you see it and see how aggressive we are, we actually bang chairs and we'll end up on the floor. I mean, I ended up with stitches in my head.
We get thrown out of our chairs, we have to get back in our chairs, we slam into each other, we swat each other.
I mean, nothing's gonna stop me. I mean, besides being dead. I mean, I love life and I'm here, and things could be worse, but they're not, so I'm happy.
Another reason these players can get so physical is the wheelchairs that they use.
As you can see, the front of it, it's got a cage around it so you can bang with it, and the wheels are cambered so it's stable.
In 2010, they also brought home a national championship. They were the NWBA Division III champs.
We had a phenomenal year, and we're hoping to repeat again this year.
I'm hoping that we're going to win the championship, and with the team that we have, I think there shouldn't be a reason that we shouldn't win at all. So I would say this would be our number 2 in the last 3-4 years.
You never know. There's a lot of stiff competition out there. We have a good core group together. We have a good, some good returning players. So it looks like we're going to have a good team this year.
A lot of times families don't even realize that this opportunity is out there for individuals who may have lower limb disabilities, but it is there, and it gives them that competitive outlet that everybody needs. So it's a wonderful opportunity for all individuals.
So it really did help with a lot of coming out of the injury and being able to get in with a bunch of guys that are pretty much in the same kind of boat, and really learned a lot more about our injuries through each other. So it turned out to be, not just on the basketball court, but off the basketball court. We're all really good friends.
I mean, it's good to know that you're not alone. You're not the only person in a wheelchair, or you're not going through this tragic experience in your life alone. There's people out there that have similar disabilities that go on in life to do great things.
I think there's this misconception that anybody in a wheelchair doesn't really have the physical prowess that an able-bodied person would have.
Now that the awareness is out, just come out and give it a try. I mean, the door's open.
I don't see myself as an inspiration. I just see myself as your average person out there living life.
And the team also visits hospitals, schools, and youth centers in Ohio promoting wheelchair basketball. They will tip off their season this Saturday at noon against the Pittsburgh Steelwheelers at Brook Park Recreation Center. And Bruce, I shot around in one of the guys' chairs. It's hard, it's fast, it's intense. They do a lot of cardio and swim to stay in shape. I couldn't keep up.
I can imagine. Thanks, Amanda. Great job. Joining us now is Tim Fox, the Wheelchair Cleveland Cavaliers head coach. And indeed, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Bruce.
You are not lower limb disabled. How did you get involved in this?
For the past 12 years, it's been about 15 years, I had worked with individuals with disabilities. And over that time period, I had met many of the players. I had them come out and do different appearances with different programs, had the opportunity to get involved from that aspect of it. But in addition, previous coaching experience in basketball along with baseball, kind of the two worlds came together, and it was a fantastic opportunity when it came up in 2007, and been involved pretty much ever since.
You know, Tim, I'm totally ignorant. I didn't know you even existed, this team and this program. You got a big fundraiser coming up, which I'm going to talk about in a moment, but you 20 years in existence, right?
Yes. Yeah. As a coach and as a team, you know, we would not exist without the wonderful partnership with the Cleveland Cavaliers, Cleveland Clinic, in addition to Invacare Top End, that has made this program possible for these athletes. But that's one of the challenges we do struggle with on a daily basis, is truly the awareness. There's individuals out there who aren't aware that we exist, that they have those opportunities, you know, even though they do have a lower limb disability.
How long of a schedule, how long of a season do you play?
We kick off this Saturday, and our national championships this year wrap up mid-April. So it truly runs typical length season as far as NCAA. We pretty much mirror that season.
How many teams in the league?
In our division, which we're in Division III of the National Wheelchair Basketball Association, there's 88. So in Ohio, there are 2 other teams that exist in addition to us, but they're Southern Ohio. But outside of that, there's teams scattered all across the United States.
So obviously you play regionally. Do you have games in the schedule where you do travel?
Yes. Every year we typically travel to 2, maybe 3 tournaments nationally. We pick and choose. We look at the competition that could be present, how we are developing as a team as we decide where we're going to go. But ultimately, we're preparing for April because we know traditionally we're going to be in that top 20 of the nationally ranked. But we're preparing, you know, to make a run at the national championship.
Tim, are there other NBA teams that are sponsoring wheelchair teams?
Yeah, there are a few. You know, and we typically run. You know, we will run into them and we will play them you know, on an ongoing basis. But you know, the Knicks, the Pacers, the Bulls, you know, Miami Heat. Many of those teams do have wheelchair associated teams.
Now let's talk about the participants. Some of these guys have been on the team for quite a few years, the Wheelchair Cavaliers.
Yes, it's a mixture. We have individuals you know, who've been playing 20+ years, and we have individuals who this is their first or second year. So it's a unique mix of individuals that, you know, and it's a positive for the young novice players as they have the opportunity to rely on those experienced individuals to develop their skills.
Some of them are veterans, I understand?
Yeah, this year on our team we do not have a veteran. We have in the past. The one, you know, we had a mainstay for many years who was on the team, but he has since retired and, you know, just enjoying life without the rigorous training of basketball.
How old are the oldest players of these 88 teams in the country?
You know, they vary. You know, they can play as long as
I would think so. That's why I asked.
As long as they physically feel they can compete and want to be a part of it.
And you won the national championship 2 years ago. Tell us about that.
2010 season, it was a wonderful season. We had, you know, I think you always can say this, when things come together at the right time and at the right place, anything's possible, and that's what happened that season. We had a wonderful season. We were, you know, for the most part, we were, you know, had about a 600 winning percentage going into that tournament. We were out in Denver, Colorado. Unfortunately, got knocked off in the semifinals, but it's a double elimination, and we had to battle back. We had to win 5 consecutive games, and then rematched in the championship against Detroit to take the title.
Are there, because in the video that Amanda showed us, I noticed the dribbling and the spinning. Are there, obviously, I'm interested in the rules. What are the rules? Because traveling, double dribbling, normal basketball rules, are they more lenient?
They're definitely not more lenient. Obviously, just like able-bodied basketball, you're going to run into officials who call very close games. You're going to have officials who call very little. But as far as rule variations, there's a few, not many. There is not a double dribble. That's one thing that's there. But as far as the travel is based off the number of times you push your chair. You know, the rule states you can push 2 times for every dribble, which I will say is one of the most difficult skills to develop, is pushing and dribbling.
So let me interrupt you.
Yes.
Let's say that the player pushes off, stops, holds the ball, then with another push can continue to dribble and advance.
Yes.
Which is why there's no double dribble.
Correct. Yes, so as long as they dribble, within 2 pushes, they're okay. And it does not matter if it's one hand or 2 hands. A push is a push as long as there's any kind of forward or backward movement.
Are the officials lower limb disabled in wheelchairs themselves?
No, actually, the large majority of the officials are not. So
there are some?
There are a couple. But there, in our area, there are not any officials that do have lower limb disabilities.
I would think, correct me if I'm wrong, Tim, that just like regular basketball, the taller you are, the better. The taller you sit in your chair, the more of an advantage that you do have. Am I wrong?
That is correct. So that's one of the equalizers that, as far as the rules, every individual is classified as far as their disability levels. So they will be classified a 1, 2, or a 3. And those classifications can also equalize things. If you're a class 3, you have a shorter cushion because you're going to have more trunk control and abilities, to control yourself. So you can sit upright. Sit a little bit more upright versus an individual who may have a more severe, disability, which is going to cause them to have less balance from the trunk side. So they're given a little bit extra cushion size. They can have a 4-inch cushion on their chair.
Now, even though you're not disabled, I understand, Amanda informed me that you do a lot of your coaching and practice from a wheelchair.
I do time to time. I will say when I first got involved, I spent a lot more time in the wheelchair than I do now. And that is because, and I will say this to all the players, I have never experienced what they experience on the court. So I can rely on their information, I can rely on their knowledge and experience that they can convey back to me. But for me to be able to also try to spend some time feeling what they're feeling, experiencing what they're experiencing, to truly grasp that concept is needed. This season, I haven't, we've had a full contingent of players out on the court, so I have spent very, very little time, if any, actually this season in the chair, but in past seasons, yes. It depends on what's warranted and needed at that point in time.
What is the idea of the slanted wheels?
It's maneuverability, agility, and that's one of the challenges of wheelchair basketball. Able-bodied basketball, you have lateral movement. When you're in a wheelchair, you do not have that lateral movement, so you rely on quick turns, pivoting, and having that agility to move, and that gives you some of those strengths and skills there.
Are any of the players that were at one time not disabled not basketball players prior to their whatever caused them to become disabled?
Yeah, Sean, I know, who was part of the interview. Sean, I think his major focus when he was in high school was football, and but he found the team many years ago, and he's developed into a great player. Some have been injured for significant periods of time, so they never had the opportunity to play able-bodied sports. So it does vary from individual to individual, and I've seen other individuals who have never played a sport previous to being injured and in a chair and have excelled in wheelchair basketball.
Now, your training involves, correct me if I'm wrong, swimming, lifting weights?
All the guys do different things individually, because that's the one challenge for us. We are not on the court every day of the week training together as a team. We spend 2 hours to 3 hours twice a week. So we spend 4 to 6 hours per week that we are together participating as a group. So they have to take it upon themselves when they're off the court to also work on their endurance, their strength, and their conditioning side of things.
I imagine their upper body strength is tremendous.
That's phenomenal. I will say, when I'm in the chair, they take care. They take pure enjoyment out of picking me, taking me out of plays, everything they possibly can to show me the challenges that they have out on that court, and I cannot compete, on any level with these guys.
What is their furthest range as far as outside shooting?
Everybody varies. We have one athlete, Will Waller. He actually is on the U.S. national team. He returned from London this year with a bronze medal as part of the men's basketball team. He's a phenomenal athlete, tall guy, so he can play down low, but he also has the range to shoot from 3-point range.
So this is an international sport?
Yes. There's an International Wheelchair Federation, along with we have our National Wheelchair Basketball Association in the United States.
Well, you know the great work that the Cleveland Sports Commission does right here, David Gilbert and all those people, and we just got word that the NCAA Regional is going to be back here in Cleveland. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we got the wheelchair international finals here?
Yeah, we've had some preliminary conversations with staff at the Greater Cleveland Sports Commission. They've actually assisted us. We're hosting a tournament at the end of January at Cleveland State University and at Quicken Loans Arena. They've assisted us with making some logistics possible. Well, we've talked about trying to host the national championships for all the divisions around the United States in the future years.
You have tryouts at the beginning of the year?
We actually, right now, we try to keep every individual who would like to play on the team because, again, it's an opportunity, and every individual deserves that opportunity.
How big a roster do you have?
This year we have 15. So, you know, we pick and choose. When we travel at certain times, we may not take all 15 individuals. We may take 8, 9, 10. But we, like the tournament or the doubleheader we're playing this Saturday, we will make sure that all 15 individuals have that opportunity because they can develop skills during practice, but you need the game experience to truly develop.
Do you invite players after the season has begun or no?
Yeah, they can. Any player can join at any time. That's one of the NWBA rules. If it's a novice player, they're free to join the team at any point in time that they can.
Well, the Cleveland Wheelchair Cavaliers fundraiser is coming up on November the 18th from 1 in the afternoon until 4. There's the information in front of you on the screen. That's at Team Z Restaurant and Bar in Middleburg Heights. Tickets are only $20. It includes unlimited pizza. That means Gene will be there, Tim. Wings, soda, domestic draft beer. Tickets, contact Tim Fox here at 440-821. You see that? You see this number, 440-821-2653. That's highlighted there at the bottom of your screen. Or Fox Timothy 82 at yahoo.com. Again, this is the fundraiser for the Cleveland Wheelchair Cavaliers, November 18th, 1 until 4. Team Z Restaurant and Bar in Middleburg Heights, and only $20. So certainly help out if indeed you can. And the guys were saying in Amanda's piece, injuries are commonplace. These guys really go at it, huh?
Oh, yeah. It is a rough sport. Banging chairs, falling out of chairs, you name it, you will see it. So injuries are common, and that's why having a roster of 15 is also a benefit, because we are going to have some guys down during the season.
Gosh, that is amazing. Tim, keep up the great work. That's absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you very much, Bruce.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming in. Our thanks to Amanda, John. Once again, November 18th from 1 until 4, Team Z Restaurant and Bar, Middleburg Heights. Tickets $20. For tickets, contact Tim Fox at 440-821-2653 or Fox Timothy 82 at yahoo.com.